Better practice today. Worked a lot of situations, a lot of red zone, third down, 4 minute at the end of the game, 2 minute before the half, third down blitz in the red zone. I mean, a lot of situational football. I thought played pretty well on both sides of the ball, situation smart, trying to educate them. But the effort was better, a little more physical. I thought it was a good, solid practice today. Question?
Before the spring game, how much of what you wanted to install this spring have you had?
We've got most of it all installed. We got most of that, and then you install it, but then you got how it's applied down in distance, field position, time on the clock. It all changes. So we're trying to take all that installation and put them in as many situations to change the thought process of how you got to do things. Because one play can be 3 different plays depending on all those situations. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So you're just trying to educate them as much as you can that way.
I went back to the spring opening press conference. You said you have kind of a track of what you want to do and you'll adjust on the fly. How much have you been able to stay on track versus?
Very much so. We have stayed right on track for the most part. Even though we had some injuries, we had got some of those guys back today. But for the most part, stayed right on track. We did not cut back. We cut back one day, and just about the 4th or 5th day, it didn't add on, but we added it up later and got everything in. We've gotten most everything in we need to get in.
Those guys that came back hold up pretty well.
Yeah, they did. Yes, they did.
Do you have an idea for how you want to split up for Saturday?
We'll see. Depending on the linemen and how many tight ends we go. We may just go one offense and one defense go against each other and be on opposite teams against the two go that way. Or we'll divide and have a draft depending on how the injury report looks tomorrow, depending on what we go. If we got enough to really have equality guys on, to make it a competition.
After watching video of the scrimmage, was it as bad as you thought it was?
Yeah, I mean, I still didn't like it did. What I felt on that field, when you walk on a field with guys and they're playing football, whether they execute or not, there's a passion, there's an intensity, there's a physicality that you feel that presence. I did not feel that. So even if the good things on that field, there's some good things, but not the passion and the physicality and the urgency that you have to have. And that was the biggest thing I was disappointed in. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you got to play this game nasty, aggressive. There ain't no friends, there ain't no buddies. You got to get after it every day, and that was kind of more what I was preaching at. But there was, some good and bad. I didn't execute as well as we did in the first one, in my opinion. But today, I thought we were really good on both sides. Both sides made plays today. What I was mad about the other day, both sides would make a play when the other side screwed up, and that, I mean, we know that. I want to make a play on offense when they cover it right. I want to make a play on defense when they run the route right or they block it right, and somebody sheds a block and beats a blocker. You know what I'm saying? And you play because when you're playing against execution, that's when you know you're a good football team.
You harp so much on consistency. Have you seen a lot of that where a good offensive play comes against good defense?
Yes, I have. And today was more of that, a lot more of that today. Mm-hmm. I have seen a good bit of that. That's what was, because I was really excited to see him take it to the field because I had seen it in our Saturday practice we had here. I mean, there was like a couple practices leading up, man, were great. And I was waiting to see it hit game. That's why you say you have a great week of practice and daggone don't do it on the field, but that's something they got to learn to do. And first time we'd really been in the stadium. Mm-hmm. Some of those guys ain't been in there, so we may practice in there tomorrow.
Okay.
Just to get them used to being in that stadium and used to throwing it around and realize that, that field's still 100 yards in there too. I think if they could get us to play in the indoor, but I don't think they'll let us do it. Can't get enough stands in there.
It's hot in there.
Yeah, let's turn the air on.
Jim, a lot of players today that were, yelling things like "can't be average," trying to keep it up. How much
they
have you
know
heard that?
a bunch. I mean, because there's when they decided to come here, they decided one thing: I want to be elite. I want to be coached hard. I want to win championships, and I want to get developed and play in the league. As far as that football part, not about we know we're going to get an education, and be good people. But that they made that commitment. That's when they came to Florida State. That's what they said because that's what we told them when they came here. So we're going to coach them that way. So you're expected to play that way and perform that way, and that's what we're going to do.
Still got a handful of sessions left. Have you seen what you've wanted to see from McGuire, or?
Yeah, I mean, I'm still wanting to see, every day as a quarterback, because you're only as good as your last play. You got to be able to do it and do it and do it and do it. And I thought he had a really good day today. I really did. And in the scrimmage, his numbers, I mean, he was 17 of 31 for about 220 yards, 2 touchdowns and a pick. Mm-hmm. And the pick was he tried to force the ball late in 2 minutes. Got a little greedy and it had 2 great drives. I mean, that's not a bad. But I didn't think he played as sharp as he played in the first scrimmage. You know what I'm saying? There were some little things that he had to clean up now. There were also some routes that were out on receivers and guys around him. But I mean, that's a pretty solid day for not quite a whole game of work, and decent, solid numbers. You know what I'm saying? And we moved the ball, but he can be a really, really good football player, and that's what we're challenging him with. But also the guys around him, they've got to perform too.
Is Sean where you want him to be at this point in the spring?
Yeah, I mean, I'm pleased where he's at, but I mean, he's not where I want him to be you know, overall.
What about the team as a whole at this point?
We got a ways to go. We got a ways to go. But I think I can see where we can be there, but we got to be able to take the bit and run with it.
What's it going to take for your wide receivers to get where you want them to be?
Making their mind up and listen to coaching and make their mind up that I'm going to get it done and bust it. And there were some really good plays today, but there's still a level they can get to because that is a very talented group of players. But like I say, talented does not mean you're a good football player. And I'm not saying they're bad football players, but they can be better football players. You got to apply it. And a route can by leverage you're running against, it's coverage you're running against. I mean, that's football. Everybody acts like our offense is coming. No, that's football 101. And you got to do it every time. 9 out of 10 ain't good enough.
Is soft the most hurtful thing you can tell a football player?
You're daggone right. It is to me.
Mm-hmm.
You're not going to be soft and play here. Ain't going to work.
Are you going to have an extra practice after the game?
No, we're going to have we're going to make ours up Friday. We're going to get in shorts and clean up have a Thursday practice, go over some things that we cleaned up from today and Thursday's practice, and then we'll break them up and make sure we get a good walkthrough before we're going to play the game.
How much?
It won't all be a walkthrough. It'll still be some work.
I guess what went into that decision instead of going after the spring game or just doing?
Yeah, I mean, going after for one day. I've never been a big fan. Now, if you take 2 or 3 days, that's a different deal. But one day and it's a short stay, I'd rather get organized before.
Is John Franco here?
No, John had a little nick in his shoulder, got banged up. He was live on Saturday, and he's fine. It's just a little deal. He got a boo-boo.
Do you think he'll be able to play in the game?
I don't know. I'll wait and see. Our trainers, like I say, Jake, he miraculously saves them. They're all going to die when they get hurt, and then he brings back the next day. He saved them. He's a miracle worker. He's walking on water. So.
Giorgio Newberry, is he here? I don't think
No,
so.
Giorgio's working on academic stuff.
Will he play in the spring game?
Maybe. We'll see.
When the Bucks come here, when a team comes to do a workout here, do you talk to them while they're here?
Yeah, I met with. I'd already met with Lovey and them. I met with the offense coordinator a lot today. Spent a lot of time with him, Dirk Cutter. Known him. Just questions and things like they did their own workout, but then we met, asked questions and that kind of stuff.
Did you see them work out? Or you
No,
just
I didn't. I've seen him work out.